The Omega plasters himself to his side while they walk in. Tae-hyung knows. He knows he's being stupid by letting Jungkook be this affectionate with him. He shouldn't allow them to get too close. It'll only hurt more when he has to leave with nothing but the memories and keep spending the rest of his life without him. Oh, sure. Thank you again, Tae. I really appreciate what you're doing for me. Of course, you're my best mate. Jungkook smiles tightly, more like a grimace, but the other one doesn't seem to notice and gently smiles back at him. The Omega leads him to a car parked on the other side of the street, a black-haired man waiting for them in the driver's seat. Hey, mate, all right up, yeah, you can put your stuff in the boot? Thanks, mate. He grinds his teeth together as he does so, watching Jungkook climb into the car and then stick his tongue out at the other man when he bitches at him about getting in the back seat instead of in the front. I want to sit next to Tae. I'll stay in the front with you. Stop being a twat about it. He settles next to Jungkook in the back and grimly curls his lips into a parody of a smile, eyes meeting Ian's in the review mirror. I'm Tae-hyung. Thanks for picking me up, mate. Yeah, I know you. I've heard a lot about you. It gets him a glare from Jungkook, but he easily ignores him. I'm Ian. No problem. I had nothing else to do and Jungkook really wanted to be there. So, the alpha nods, mouth set into a straight line. You know I can't drive, Tae. Not that I really need to. The bus can take me pretty much everywhere I need to go, and when I have to do something out of town I have my personal driver. Only need to bat my eyelashes at him and promise to bake some blueberries muffins and it's done. Takes me everywhere I ask to. He giggles. Tae-hyung is trying very hard to stop himself from growling and lashing out at the small Omega. He doesn't want to hurt his feelings. He knows Jungkook is very sensitive, so he swallows down the instinct to bite out that he doesn't give a shit about his stupid bloody boyfriend and the things they do together. He forces out a laugh, his throat feeling dry and scratchy. No surprises here. Anyone would do anything to have you bake for them. I haven't forgotten how good you are. He pretends to check his phone so he can slip his arm out and away from the Omega's grasp, trying to ignore the pang in his chest when he notices a frown on Jungkook's face and the way the smell of lavender dims a little bit. The rest of the journey is a bit tense, the conversations awkward and stilted, silence stretching uncomfortably between them for handfuls of minutes at a time before Jungkook peeps up with new topics to ask questions about. The Omega hates how stiff the air is in the car. He knows it's his fault because he's made him uneasy with how forward he's being with physical contact. He's done too much and now he's gone again. He hates himself. He bites his bottom lip in slight relief when the car finally stops. He doesn't want to say goodbye to Tae-hyung just yet. He actually wants to spend all the time that he can with him before he leaves, but he feels like he needs to be alone and regroup a little, strategize on how to act around him as not to make him uncomfortable with his unreciprocated feelings again. Thanks for the ride, Ian. See you on Sunday, yeah? Tell Grace I said hi and that I'll bring cheesecake. Lemon. Still trying to steal my wife, are you, Cookie? He smirks. Jungkook scoffs. Please, Gracie already loves me more than she loves you. We're not running away together just because of the twins. The alpha officially feels like an idiot. Ian is married and has kids. For sake. He's been sulking and acting like a jealous prick for nothing. His posture relaxes and he steps closer to the Omega, feeling the warmth of his body seeps into him, until his chest is shy from being pressed against him. Jungkook glances back at him with a confused frown at the sudden change in the alpha's behavior but shrugs it off and he simply decides to bask in the attention and the nice smell of cinnamon cocooning him like a reassuring blanket. Ian's left eyebrow lifts as he observes the two of them with something akin to compassion in his eyes. The Omega clearly doesn't know the reasons behind the Alpha's odd attitude, and the Alpha doesn't have a clue about why the Omega behaves the way he does. They must have misunderstood each other's feelings a very long time ago, and now they keep misinterpreting each other's actions based on that false assumption, and he wants to burst out laughing. They're both clueless idiots, aren't they? So blind to something that's staring them straight in the face. He drives away while they walk into the hotel together, Jungkook trailing after the Alpha looking like a fretting mother hen, Jungkook carrying his luggage as well as his welcome home sign, mindful not to step on the Omega's feet, who's fluttering around his larger body acting like he's actually being helpful. He shakes his head fondly. You don't have to walk me to my room, you know? I won't get lost, promise. Jungkook pouts. If you want me to get out of your hair, just say so. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying that if you have something else to do, you don't have to stay. I'm just going to get the keys and order some room service before passing out on the bed. He laughs. No, I have now to do. I'm keeping the shop closed today and I already went grocery shopping the other day. Jungkook wrinkles his nose. You know, there's no need for you to even pay this hotel room and waste money on eating out every day. My house has a lovely empty guest room you could stay in. We could eat lunch together at the shop and then have dinner at home. Unless you're, like, too busy. In that case I could just leave some food for you when you get home. And I have 2 sets of keys so you can come and go as you please. Oh, Cookie, don't fuss. I can afford the expenses. It's not a problem for me. I wouldn't want to impose. The little Omega scuffs and lightly pushes him on the shoulder. You're not imposing. I'm inviting you. We'd both be independent, but at the same time we'd be spending time together. After so many years of not seeing each other, it'll be great. Come on, what do you say? The Alpha bites his bottom lip and, God knows he shouldn't, he's starting to consider it. I've already booked the room for 3 days. I can't just cancel at the last minute. Jungkook shrugs. Alright then, stay here for the time you've booked, but we are eating together in the meantime. He points his finger at him in a threatening way. Then after the 3 days are up you'll come stay at me house, year end. Apparently, it doesn't matter how long they've been away from each other, he's still incapable of telling Jungkook no. The Omega notices a conflict in his eyes and is quick to seize the opportunity. Come on, Tae. Please? Please, please, please. He shouldn't. He really shouldn't. It's a bad idea, a terrible one. Living with Jungkook for who knows how long, having the keys to his house, sharing their lunch break and coming home to the Omega waiting for him with food ready just like it would be if they were in a relationship? Yeah, no. It sounds like it would be literally impossible for him to keep up the pretense of only wanting to be friends with Jungkook, to keep the distance he's so carefully built between them during the last years. He should put a stop to this before it even begins and politely decline. Alright, Cookie. You win. I'll stay with you, is what he says instead. He cheers, throwing his hands up in victory. Yes. Thank you. It'll be cracking. You won't regret it. Promised. Tae chuckles at his antics and just enjoys watching the Omega preen, reveling in the fact that it's because of him. Okay, I've got to go now. I need to cook our lunch for tomorrow. See ya. Jungkook chirps before he's planting a big sloppy kiss on his cheek, the stubble scratching his lips. And then he's scurrying away with a bright giggle bubbling out of his mouth. The smell of lavender so thick in the air Tae feels almost drunk with it. He feels his heart stutter in his chest as the Omega's lips touch his skin, the point of contact between them almost burning, and the Alpha inside of him is waggling his tail and panting with happiness. He shakes his head to snap himself out of it and goes to check himself in. What the f*** he gotten himself into? Tae is working on the case. He's looked at the contract and the documents. He's doing researches on the person that wants to take the shop and obsessively reading law after law, trying to find something he can use to fight it. He's taken to work in the library just so he doesn't stay cooped up in the house all day but still has a quiet place where no one will bother him. He's been there for a whole week now and the 4 days spent at Jungkook were enough to build their own routine together. Tae-hyung wakes up and makes breakfast something healthy because the Omega complains about his tummy being too pudgy and Tae, "You'll make me fat if you keep making pancakes for brekkie," because, obviously, his insanely sweet tooth and how often he bakes and can be found munching on something sugary have nothing to do with it. Not at all. The problem is definitely breakfast. Tae-hyung thinks all his worries are completely unnecessary because he looks amazing and in total honesty, while gaining or losing a few pounds is not going to change that. His soft tummy is delicious and it does things to him while the Omega sleepily drags himself out of bed and into the kitchen. They leave together and go their separate way until they meet again during Jungkook lunch break, which they spend together at the shop eating the food the Omega has prepared for them the night before. The Alpha then goes back to the library and Jungkook usually drops by after he closes the shop for the day so he can bring him something to eat and a cup of tea. Or here all day, working so hard and too much, you need to have a little snack and get your energy back. He scolds him with his hands on his hips in a worried frown and leaves after the library lady rudely shushes him for the 3rd time, which she does because she's a jealous twat that clearly hates him for having what she so desperately wants, Taehyung's attention. Jungkook words, not his. He never forgets to send him before leaving, smirking childishly at the grumpy beater throwing daggers at them with her eyes, challenging her with an endearing glare of his own. They both don't know whether it's heaven or hell. The Omega knows he has no right to stake a claim on the Alpha and, yet, the Alpha simply accepts the scenting and the jealousy with a content smile and an indulgent look and doesn't make him stop. Taehyung, on the other hand, thinks Jungkook is only acting as a concerned mate trying to help him out of some unwanted advances. He still basks in the attention and pretends it's all real. He pretends the annoyance the Omega is showing is because he's really jealous and doesn't want to see anyone hitting on him. It's wishful thinking and it doesn't help his situation. He knows, but just this time, just this once, he's going to let himself have this.